tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome back. You're joining us here on AfterBuzz, Star Wars Rebels for Episode 6, Empire Day. I love it.
He says with a WWE voice.
Yeah, that's my WWE voice.
It's the voice you have to use when we have Metallica.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Metallica giving us the Imperial March over here. It's amazing. I could listen to this all day. Guys, thanks for joining us. I'm Dillon Chance, and here are my lovely co-hosts, Megan Salinas.
Hey, everybody.
She's back.
Yay! I'm here.
And, as always, the lovely Katie Cullen.
Hi, all my buddies.
Woo! All right.
Empire Day.
This episode was good. I
Yeah.
think this was probably the second best episode of the season.
I'm with you on that one.
I'm going to go with third favorite.
Third favorite. Oh,
Because
okay.
I really did like the episode last week.
Oh, okay. So what do you was that your second or first?
Yeah, second.
Okay.
Inquisitor, that
Yeah.
one, this one.
I think everyone has the same idea. The best episode so far was Rise of the Old Master. That was a good one.
Sir Windmill Lightsaber himself.
Oh, he's so cool. And we got to see him a little bit in this episode.
Yeah.
Not as much as I would like.
Although,
We
But
got to see his helmet.
that
That's
was a cool
really
helmet.
cool.
That was a really
He looked
cool
like a Cylon.
He
Yeah.
did.
First thing I
freaking
thought
A.
was like, wow, the Inquisitor's a Cylon.
I would not have guessed
That
that.
explains so many
Then
things.
again, isn't everyone a Cylon?
Oh, now we're getting too deep, guys.
But I did, like, before we go on, I did really like actually getting to see him and Callus work together.
yeah, I like that.
that was
the two
interesting.
bads were together in this one and like, throwing information back and forth. It was
Yeah, and
pretty
it
good.
wasn't like I'm trying to one up you or anything like that. It's like, no, they're legitimately on the same page.
Yeah.
That's way more intimidating than villains who butt heads.
And you don't see it very often.
Yeah.
Usually it's one above the other, or everyone
Yeah.
running over each other trying to get the same thing. But no, they're like, you take column A, I'll take column B, and hey, we'll win.
I
Pretty
like it.
much, yeah.
They're good. They're smart. Empire Day. What a day.
Because if you could take over the world and name a holiday after yourself,
Take
wouldn't
over
you?
the galaxy.
The galaxy, yes.
So it seems we're on the 15th anniversary of Empire Day, as we find out, in the episode, which doesn't seem to be a very happy day for old Ezra there.
No.
Has it only been 15 years?
Yeah, it's only been 15 years.
That's interesting to think about because, I don't know, I guess just the journey from Obi-Wan Kenobi being, like, a young man in his 30s to, like, becoming an old man, for some reason it seems like a much longer gap in my head.
Well, we're still, I think, about 4 years before New Hope takes place.
Yeah, it still doesn't seem
Yeah,
like
see-
it would be that much.
I feel like, what if he was like
Maybe 40s?
35 or 40 at the end of
Might
it?
have been in his 40s, like very early 40s.
And then he
Yeah.
would be like
65.
pushing
then-
60.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
And I
but-
think he was like, he was in his 60s when he filmed it. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Um,
For whatever reason, it just feels like a much, much longer time, like, passed between the end of episode 3 and the
Yeah, well,
beginning of
you got
episode
to
4.
think,
Yeah.
Luke was only, what, 16, 17? In A
He
New
was
Hope?
young, yeah.
And he was born at the end of episode 3.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that long.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's
yeah.
just for whatever reason in my mind, it's like
It's
there's
just hard
a far
because
bigger
you
gap.
go from the like actor who was obviously in his 30s to the actor who was obviously in his 60s, and you're like, wow, that should be like a 30-year gap. But you gotta play it up a little bit.
Well, and going into the initial A New Hope, it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and you kind of get the impression that the Empire has been around for a very, very long time.
They work quick.
It seems like it's permanent.
Yeah.
And that this is a rebellion that's been building for decades and decades and decades and finally gets a foothold.
It's true.
So-
I mean, and even when Obi-Wan talks about the Clone Wars back in A New Hope, you feel like it was like must have been when he was a young man, like when he was like 20.
Eons ago.
Yeah, so it does seem like it should be longer. But even so, the Empire's very big, very powerful. They work quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
they do.
They mess everything up very quickly.
Not hard to do when you're being run by
But
a
everyone
Sith.
celebrates Empire Day.
They have to.
It's
It's mandatory.
Oh god, I feel like we're gonna have one of those one day.
Oh no.
Yeah,
God forbid.
in real life. It seems like it's coming.
Like a V for Vendetta thing.
Oh.
It's getting scary out there. So, anyways, we find out it's Empire Day, and Ezra's not very happy, and Kanan's trying to teach him and to connect with other beings. He's like, you have to let your guard down. You have to be vulnerable so that you can connect with other beings. And that's, that's a very spiritual thing. That's like, even in real life, I feel it's the same way. You can never be fully into a relationship with someone unless you let your guard down and you're vulnerable. And even so with the Force, that's how you connect with other beings. So that's pretty cool, but he is not having it because this is not a good day for him. Did you guys know? Did you guys think like this is the day?
Well, I figured it was the day his parents died or were taken away. Something. I didn't think it was his birthday.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I just figured that Empire Day was a terrible day for everyone.
Right.
But him having a birthday on Empire Day, and it's also the day that his parents got, it's kind of like being born on 9/11.
Uh-huh. Not only is it his birthday, 15 years ago was the exact day he was born. So it's not like he was born on Empire Day. Like it had been going and he was born on Empire Day and he just had to deal with it. No, Empire Day started on the day he was born.
So he never had a good birthday.
No.
Oh, poor Ezra.
The day he was born was the very first Empire Day. That was the...
So that's kind of weird to think he's like the Empire is as old as Ezra.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of weird to think
So
about.
look at
And
Ezra.
just as bratty.
Well, even America's a young country, and we've been around for over 200 years.
Yeah, imagine a
country that's only been around for 15 years.
or
kicking
imagine
around.
a like Galactic Empire that has only been around for 15 years. But to be fair, everybody was already kind of used to the Republic.
Yeah.
And it just kind of was like the Republic switched on the evil switch. So,
It's a republic with an alignment swap.
yeah, that's kind of what happened. I mean,
We
seriously.
went from lawful good to lawful evil.
They went from clone troopers protecting everyone to clone troopers murdering all the Jedi and taking everything over.
Did the Republic vote for it because of propaganda and stuff and
actually, you know who started
Jar Jar?
stupid
Frickin'
Jar Jar initiated the vote to give him supreme powers. He ruined
We
everything.
should have killed him when we had the chance.
I think everyone thinks that about Jar Jar.
Jar Jar.
Anyway,
All right.
poor
Anyways,
Ezra.
let's go back to Ezra. Poor Ezra. It's his birthday. Empire Day is his birthday. He's been living with this for the last 15 years, and the Empire wasn't very particularly nice to his family. So, I mean, obviously, it's not a good day for Ezra.
And
No.
it sounds like his parents were revolutionaries from the get-go.
Yeah, they were. They definitely were. They were. He even talks about it to Sabine. Like, they used to do these underground broadcasts trying to rebel against the Empire.
They literally had an underground radio.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which,
Yeah.
on the one hand, is very admirable.
Yes.
But from the perspective of a kid, you know, it's parents putting work before your kid all
Yeah,
the time.
duty,
And granted,
yeah.
they're trying, you know, for the greater good. But again, from the perspective of a kid, it's like this is something that was more important to them than I was.
And, like, why are you endangering us all? Can you just get over it?
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
and they put it under their house. Come on, really? You have miles and miles of open grassy fields where literally nothing
Miles and
happens.
miles of desert. too.
Yeah.
Miles and miles of everything else. And you put this radio broadcast station, which could and will be your undoing if they ever trace the signal, directly under the place where you live.
Well, you know,
That's not smart.
maybe. I don't know. It isn't smart, but
I
what are you gonna do?
understand
No wonder
desperate
they got
times.
caught.
Yeah, no wonder they got caught. Let's track that signal. Oh, it's at their house. Okay.
Gee, you
Done.
wonder if they're responsible? Well,
Yes.
I didn't even bother going
We
to
didn't
an
even know
abandoned...
this was here. I swear.
the door to open it is in your living room under your ottoman. I never liked that Ottoman.
So we established that it's not a good day for Ezra, and then all of a sudden we see some TIE fighters flying into this little town, and they're out in like far remote town or whatever, away from where the action should be. So they're like, what are these TIE fighters doing flying in?
They're in the equivalent of Wyoming.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I don't really know where they're at, but yeah, they're pretty. They made it seem like, what the hell are these TIE fighters doing here? Why are they coming out this far? So they go in to check it out, and that's fun, like cantina scene. I was like, oh man, I was really hoping we'd get some cantina like brawls and stuff, but
I was hoping we'd get the music.
oh, that would have been nice too. A little cantina
Time of
music.
scum and villainy.
Yeah. We play the same music on Lothal. That would have been good. But they're just sneaking around. Ezra and Kanan are kind of playing it cool, and Zeb and Hera are chilling at a table, and you got the TIE pilots come over and look at them, and then all of a sudden they start hassling some poor Rodian, and he's scared to death. And they hold up a picture, and it's funny because
it looks exactly like
can
him.
anyone tell Rodians apart?
Same.
Is that speciest of me? But I feel like they all look the same.
Well, I was wondering if it was the same
It was the
guy
skin color.
who had his fruit stand blown up
yeah,
a
that-
couple episodes ago.
See?
That poor, like, if it was, I feel really bad for this poor guy who keeps getting hassled by the Empire.
I think the only like trait that was supposed to be the giveaway was the color of his skin. It was a little lighter green than the dark green Rodian that they were hassling.
Yeah, dark green is usually the default color, but yeah, this guy has like bright
Yeah, he was
neon.
like a bright green. So okay,
well,
he didn't
there's
look
also
the same.
the mechanistic headgear that he couldn't remove.
That's true, and
that's
that
a
wasn't
bit
in
of
the
a
picture.
tip-off.
Yeah, you think that would have been like
You
a
think-
big thing
yeah.
in terms of
They were like, "Oh, should we? No,
description.
this guy's got a headgear on. Let's just go."
Well, in case he's managed to take it off, this is what he looks
That's
like.
true. That's true.
Although I don't know, it looks like it's pretty deep into his brain.
Literally wired into his
Did it
skull,
remind you of
yeah.
anyone?
I feel like now it should
It
be.
should.
Why is that not ringing a
Think-
bell?
Empire Strikes Back. Think
Oh, just do it.
I'm drawing
Think Cloud City.
I'm drawing a complete
Think
blank guy.
Lobot. He's the guy that helps Lando. He has the thing on his head, and he goes
Oh!
around and he opens all the doors, and he's Lando's like kind of like personal
Yeah, I
aide.
do not remember him at all.
Wow, that's a really obscure reference to pull from.
Not
this.
really. I mean, I don't think so.
Well, no, I always remember Lando. I don't remember the
Yeah.
guy next to
That's
Lando.
Lobot. The first thing I thought when I saw Sibo, I was like, oh, he's got a little Lobot
It
headpiece on.
has been a little while since I watched Empire Strikes Back.
That
so.
too.
You got to go
Same here.
through all three of those, not the prequels, but the three originals at least once a year. That's my
That's
thing.
fair.
At least once a year. That's on the minimum. I usually do more, but on the minimum.
The last I watched Return of the Jedi a little while ago, and it hurts me every time with Boba Fett. It really does.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
The extended universe had him detonating the grenades on his belt and getting out after everyone had left.
Yeah,
So
I know.
if you'd like to feel better about something that is decidedly non-canonical,
He fixed his jetpack and flew out. In the expanded universe.
Whatever.
We'll
Let's
see
just
what
get
happens.
on with the episode.
I think somebody asked, like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool to see Boba Fett in episode 7? And I was like, I think it's like 30 years in the future, and I'm pretty sure Boba Fett would be like 60, 70 years old now.
rocket wheelchair.
Yeah. Because think about it, Boba Fett was already like 15 in Attack of the Clones. So by the time episode...
Yeah, he's in his prime right now when the original trilogy takes place.
Yeah, because that was about, like I said, 15.
30
by
years
by
in the
Return of the
future.
Jedi, I think it's been about 20, 25 years.
He would
So-
have to have a kid or something for like that armor to come back and
Rocket wheelchair.
Rocket wheelchair.
I am up for that. You know they do
So the
it.
TIE pilots... Well, I'm jumping back. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Anyway,
continue.
no, back to the episode.
We're jumping back into the cantina. The TIE pilots are harassing everyone. Then they harass the bartender like, oh, you need the Empire HoloNet on at all
It's the
times.
law."
It's the law. And then we hear our old buddy Senator Gall Travis come back on. He was the one that had the bad information about Jedi Master Luminara.
everything.
And, yeah, well.
Everyone has bad
You know,
information about everything.
Yeah, well,
That's this show.
they're all working what they've got. It's hard to smuggle information
I know.
through the Empire.
Do you think he's transmitting from
Unless
just,
you get some Bothans, because they're pretty good at it.
Do you think he's transmitting from the basement in his house, too?
Probably.
He did say he was in hiding, right? Didn't he say, like...
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I just imagine that he's in his basement
Yeah, he
and
is.
not trying
He's in
very
Ezra's
hard.
basement. He says you should boycott Empire Day. And they're all sitting there, and the TIE pilot, turn it off. I can't. It's the law. That's pretty good.
This is my new favorite fictional bartender.
Yeah, he stood
guy.
up to the TIE pilot for me. It's pretty good. So they decide, okay, and Ezra has a moment where he sees the picture and he knows, like, and it seems like he kind of like knows because he remembers him, but also it feels like it's like he's in touch with him with the Force a little bit.
Doesn't he say the name right
He says
there?
Sibo.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sibo.
he goes,
Oh,
Sibo.
you know the guy.
Yeah, wow, Ezra
This
knows
is going to
him.
be a thing.
So then they talk about how they have some plans for the Empire Parade, which I was like, oh boy, here we go.
They're like, this will be an Empire Day they'll never forget.
Yeah, there you go.
Ezra decides to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Count me out.
Yeah, he's got
It's a
some
bad day.
teenage angst he's got to go deal with, and that's fine.
I'm going to go shut myself up in my room and play Simple Plan on repeat very loudly.
So we get to...
I was going to say, since this is a
Our booth
galaxy
operator really liked
a
that.
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I think he's going to have to wait a while before he
It
can
still
play that CD.
exists. I don't care.
It's,
There's some intergalactic version of Simple Plan. I don't care if the sound waves have to time travel.
Yeah, it's the Jedi rock version
Of Simple Plan.
of Simple Plan. So they go to the parade, and at the parade they find out that a new type of TIE fighter is being unveiled. It's called a TIE Starfighter.
Yeah, with the curve.
And with the curve, which we see later, and we see with what Darth Vader, I think, flies that when he's chasing down the Millennium Falcon, right?
Yeah.
Or no, Luke. He's chasing down Luke.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Millennium Falcon shoots him. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is the I'm a special character TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Everyone else gets the straight up and down, but I get curved.
I was going to say, yeah, it was funny to see the Inquisitor hop into that. I was like, ooh, he gets the fancy one.
Of course he gets the fancy one.
You need to be able to tell me apart from everyone else at a glance.
Well, because they were going to give it to, this is going to be for the best TIE fighter pilot we have. Some guy that they mentioned and named and we never saw again.
You know what having a different design means in a vehicle like that? Target this guy.
Yeah. He's the one you need to shoot down.
Pretty much.
Bet they wish they hadn't just ditched that TIE fighter. Just saying. I'm going to keep bringing
you're
it
gonna
up.
bring that
that
Comes
comes
back.
up every
Keep bringing up the
episode.
TIE fighter. So I like this part because I like that Sabine designs firework grenades.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That's pretty cool. And she gets Zeb to throw him up there, and it's distracting everyone. And Kanan sneaks in and puts a little bomb on the new TIE fighter. And when he's coming back, he almost gets caught. He almost gets caught by
Stormtrooper.
a stormtrooper. Hey, what are you doing over here? And
Look at the colors.
look at the colors, man. And he's all really.
I was
At
surprised.
first, I thought he was trying to just play really stupid.
I thought he was too.
But
I thought that was a
I
really
guess
good way to play
I
it.
guess it continued on with that, but I thought Ezra was gonna come
it was
in.
like drunk 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Ezra was gonna come in and say, "Oh, sorry, he's a little in the head," but he played it with the, "Oh, my dad just is really patriotic," and then you hear Kanan, "Empire Day, I love it." You know?
Probably the funniest thing he's ever
Yeah,
said.
it was. I cracked
pretty
up
great.
actually. It was hilarious, and
Well, they can't have Ezra come up and go, "Oh, he's drunk. This is a kid's show."
yeah.
So
And
he's
But you
very
get it.
Yeah.
patriotic.
Empire Day, I love it, and the stormtrooper's like, "Hey, just get out of here."
I was kind of surprised he
Idiot.
didn't just do the Jedi mind trick, but this was far more entertaining.
It
Oh,
was.
this is glorious.
He probably would have had he been pushed to it.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to just be able to sneak off without, but
Yeah.
but Ezra came in and saved it, and they say, "Where is it?" And Ezra's like, I know who the guy is. We got to go find this guy, Sibo. He was a friend of my parents. So then they're running away. I'm sorry, I was trying to picture the scene in my head here, because right after that, they're running away from all the explosions because the TIE fighter blows
goes
up.
out, yeah.
And they're running off, and they have a second where Zeb is kind of covering them, and he has an opportunity to shoot Callus, end him right there. But then Kanan sees the Inquisitor come running out, and he says, "We shoot that guy." Because obviously he is a bigger threat, but at the same time, I feel like Callus is an easier target.
The Inquisitor's not going to be taken down by a stray shot.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
not
feel
gonna
like
be a
the
thing.
second a blaster starts coming at him, it'll be like, knock it away. What?
Well, I feel like it doesn't, like, for narrative purposes, no matter who he aimed at, he was going to miss.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Because
obviously
it's
they had
too
to keep
early
it
to
around.
get rid of
now,
either of them.
that's a good question. I was going to ask you guys. Do you think he missed, or do you think he was trying to shoot that explosion and think that maybe the explosion would kill him? Because he did make something explode, and it did knock him down. Maybe he thought, oh, if I just shoot that, it doesn't matter if I hit her. You know, I'm going to hit that, and he'll probably die.
I think he missed.
Okay.
He doesn't seem like someone to go, well, maybe if I shoot this and it'll explode next to him. He seems like someone to go, okay, headshot.
He's not playing one of those video games where you're like, I'll shoot the red barrel.
Unless there's literally a barrel that says highly explosive right next to the
next to him.
Inquisitor, I don't think Zeb's gonna aim for
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Although I actually really did like the stuff with Zeb in this episode, because it's like, that thing that we mentioned a couple episodes ago about Callus destroying Zeb's race, that's still a thing.
Oh yeah, he's like, I've been waiting to get get back at this guy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like that they haven't forgotten about
Yeah.
that wasn't just a one-off line.
Oh
or
no,
anything like that.
Zeb's gonna remember that.
Oh, this
And-
is going to be an end of series showdown.
Oh yeah,
Calling
no.
it now.
And I like that. I like the idea of them having to duke it out
Yeah.
eventually when the series, as the series gets further
whenever
to
it
ahead.
happens, right?
Yeah.
So they're running away. Ezra says, I know a plan. I have a plan for us to hide. But Zeb's not going to fit because he's too big.
Didn't he call him shoulders?
He called him shoulders. 'Cause
That's
he's a
great.
Huge guy. So Zeb's like, I'll just climb up over the buildings and I'll meet Hera in the marketplace, and you guys get the hell out of here. So they hide in the vents, and then you got Inquisitor and Callus looking for him everywhere. And Ezra brings them to his old house. And you don't know it's old house at first, and it has markings all over. It's like Empire territory, stay out, blah, 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 blah. But they go in, and I think Kanan kind of senses, like, oh, this place is very sensitive to you. It must be your house, blah, blah, blah. And he moves over the ottoman.
The Ottoman.
And there's
The
Sibo.
secret Ottoman.
Sibo sitting down there at the bottom of the ladder, looks like he's like crying or scared to death or whatever. And he comes out, and they can tell that his mind has been messed with. Like he's not normal. He's obviously like trying to compute everything like a computer. And I think they said, he has implanted cybernetic circuits. So, he looks like he's wearing the same thing Lobot was in Cloud City. And Lobot even acts kind of robotic and kind of computery. And it seems like it takes over your brain in a way that it just makes you more functional and makes you more, you get everything done quicker.
He's a Cyberman.
Yeah, he's
He's essentially a Cyberman.
Yeah.
They said it like sacrifices personality for productivity.
See?
Yeah.
There you go.
But I don't know about you. This was one of the more messed up things that we've seen in this series in terms of like just kind of like, oh, I'm feeling things right now.
Yeah.
No
the
way
Empire is
was
making
that
slaves out of
voluntary.
people. Yeah,
No
exactly.
way was that a voluntary process.
Not for Sibo.
That's-
Maybe for Lobot.
Maybe for Lobot, but not in this particular case, especially
Yeah.
since he's working for the Empire. This is new.
Yeah, no, especially just with how jittery he is and how he's just the way he talks and the way he moves about. Like they push him around like a rag doll.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He can't finish a thought. He keeps switching into other languages. The wiring is not right on this.
So Sibo is the one that actually fills them in on it's Ezra's birthday.
Yeah.
So no, that's why Ezra's sad. And we learn quickly right there that Ezra's been on his own now for like 8 years.
Yeah.
His parents were taken when he was 7. So he's been on the street since he was 7. That's pretty sad.
I give
Yeah.
him a lot more respect
Yeah,
now because
see?
we know he's been on his own for some time. And granted, any time on your own when you're a kid is definitely admirable. But goodness, is he 14? 15?
He's 15.
15.
Yeah.
15. Yeah, that's a long time to
That's
be
a
on
long
your
time,
own.
especially starting at 7. Like,
Well, 7's
I
the
don't-
good pity age because it's young enough where you're like, oh, you really shouldn't be on your own, but it's old enough that you can feasibly survive on your own. You're big enough, you're smart enough, you understand a little more about how things work.
I don't think I
5-year-old, maybe not.
Oh yeah, no, me
No
as a
way.
7-year-old, I would have been dead.
No way. I'm a dead man.
That's why I said feasibly. I wouldn't want to do it, but you buy him surviving on his own at 7 more than you would at 5 or 4.
Right. So Sabine is messing with Shibo's little headgear there, and she finds out that he's harboring a bunch of information that the Imperials don't want getting out. Like he has
it's a 5-year
schedules
plan.
and blueprints and a 5-year plan for Lothal, and they have the schematics for TIE bombers and AT-ATs. That was cool. We got to see this, the big AT-ATs. And then also they had another ship on there, and I think it's the ship that like the Emperor and Darth Vader kind of roll in on sometimes. I think it's called like a Tedarium shuttle or something. It looked like they had schematics for that.
Well, and he dropped a line about they were going to start manufacturing TIE fighters on this planet within 5 years. That's what they were going to do with the miles and miles of desert and plains and everywhere you could have hidden an underground
Water
radio
farms.
station.
Right. So Kanan wants to smuggle him off because this could be very valuable information, but they obviously have to get him out of town first. So what they do is they start sneaking through the city, and they steal a troop transport, which was pretty cool, except for Kanan. Like, I was like, man, you should have really knocked that guy out a little bit more, because as soon as they took off that guy, just the guard, the pilot or whatever for the transport, he just gets back up, and he instantly radios.
Yeah,
like,
he
hey,
sounds an alarm.
Yeah, so then Callus is now on the horn telling the other dude, hey, block the road, we're coming.
Yeah, that would have been a good time to use the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now they power through the roadblock when they finally get there. And Callus tells the Inquisitor, hey, they're heading this way. And the Inquisitor's like, just keep on them, slow them down. I'm going to catch up with this TIE fighter crew. And he gets in the special TIE fighter. And
puts on his special helmet
Yeah,
and
puts on
lets us
his
know that
cool
he's the main villain. And
Cylon
cool.
helmet. It was really cool.
it was. It's like, is that what his helmet looks like?
And this might have been my favorite part of the episode. We actually see a stormtrooper do something awesome. He zooms up on a speeder bike. He blows open a door. Ezra looks out the door. He's gone. He swings in, kicks Ezra down. You're like, who is this guy?
He was top of the class that wasn't
what I
taken
said.
away by the Inquisitor and
Yeah,
murdered.
he knocks Ezra down. Kanan comes at him. He knocks Kanan down, and then you're like, this guy's gonna kill them all. He's this one little stormtrooper.
Honestly, this was for a minute. I thought like some sort of wire had crossed in my brain, because I'm like, normally this would be what the heroes
Yeah,
are doing
exactly.
to a vehicle full of stormtroopers.
Right.
It's the ninja-pirate dichotomy.
Yeah,
if you have one pirate and 100 ninjas, the pirate's going to slaughter them. If you have 100 pirates and one ninja, the ninja's going to take them all out. At the moment, we have
Like
multiple
Dynasty
good guys.
Warriors.
Huh?
Like Dynasty Warriors.
Oh,
Kind
we have
of.
multiple good guys.
We have
and only one
multiple
bad guy.
good guys and one bad guy. So the bad guy has to be
A little bit
powered
stronger, yeah.
just well enough to make it interesting.
And-
it just happened to be the most competent stormtrooper in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's dead now.
On
Yeah,
this
he's dead now,
backwater
though,
planet.
By the way, he didn't last very long.
Well, yeah, by the time we hit A New Hope, all the
because-
good ones have been killed.
Yeah.
So we're left with the guys that we see in the movie.
Because right after he is awesome, Kanan picks him up with the Force and throws him out the door. So
He might have survived. They
well,
did
he took
have
out,
armor.
he hit the other trooper, and then they flew back, and there was an
I don't know.
explosion.
Like,
So I think
if
He had armor.
if he's
don't
alive, I think his stormtrooper days are over.
he's in a hospital somewhere.
But
So
he could be
then
like, I fought a Jedi.
Callus catches up and hops on the back and is walking across the top now, and that's when Ghost shows up, and Zeb is having fun, like trying to pick him off from the top, and Chopper takes out the gunner, and that was really cool, and
Chopper's useful for
Chopper
once.
did something. Yeah, he took out the transport, and then Zeb thinks Callus falls off the back. And so he's like, hey, it's all clear, guys. Get up on up there. Callus is off the back. But obviously, Callus is just hanging on to the back.
Which that could have gone down way worse.
Yeah, it
Oh,
could.
Like, they were
yeah.
lucky.
Yeah,
I
so
was expecting him to get on the
They don't-
Ghost,
they
like
don't-
to make it on the ship.
yeah,
Or
I thought so
to,
too.
or to shoot Kanan and then Kanan's captured.
Or
but-
something like that,
yeah.
right?
Or
but
shoot Sibo.
Hera, Hera, that would be sad.
would've
Hera
been
says,
really
"Hey, we don't have time, guys, to land. We have to do a scoop mission." So obviously they've done this before. They got to just
Yeah.
jump on while it's all flying, and so they're all climbing up, and they start getting them on, and that's when Callus takes his shot and starts shooting at him. So luckily Kanan is there, and he's blocking it with a lightsaber and distracting him, which was really cool because Hera takes off and Kanan does an awesome backwards force jump, and she just swoops him up. And it was so awesome. I was like, man, they've done this before.
Yeah.
Their teamwork is
Practicing.
amazing. And that's when the TIE fighters come flying in, and they shoot the back of the ship. I think at this point is right when they shut the ship. And you see Chopper get fried, and you see everyone on the ship scramble to get all the guns because they got a whole squad of TIE fighters, and one of them is being flown by the Inquisitor. I mean, this is bad. And he knows that Sibo's on there, and they really want to make sure Sibo does not get into Rebel hands. So that's all bad. And right when that happens, Ezra falls down on Sibo, knocks his cybernetic implants loose. Sibo wakes up, sees Ezra, realizes it, says something to him in Rhodian, I guess, if that's the name of the language. It might be called something else. I don't remember.
What did he say?
And then what did he say? Sabine, the ultimate translator, because you've noticed she can translate every language.
Yeah.
She says, he knows what happened to your parents. Right then, to be continued. Oh, yeah. So,
Cue the screaming at the screen,
so
etc.
this is the first to be continued we'd have, and I'm pretty excited.
I'm excited. I know that the next episode is going to be great, but I was really mad when I was watching it. I was like, just do another 1 hour special.
No, you gotta wait for it.
You got to make the kids wait. The kids are like, oh my gosh, what'll happen next?
We're an instant gratification society. I want it now.
I was actually pretty excited because I was like, first, I like to be continued.
It means
episodes.
they're stepping it up.
Yeah. It keeps you waiting, and it makes the story get a little more in depth. And I think this episode was really good, but I think then I have hopes that the next episode will be even better.
I think Sibo's gonna die.
He might, and I'm okay with that.
Well, if he winds up back in the hands of the Empire, then they have all the information that he knows on these rebels, and he's probably picked up a good amount, and they can't afford that.
Did you guys?
If he winds up with the rebels, that's all that information that they can use against the Empire.
Did you guys see the trailer for next time? Or?
No.
Yeah, I missed it too, but one of my buddies told me that next time there was a little teaser, and it was Ezra and Kanan fighting the Inquisitor.
Again!
And I was like, yes!
They have a terrible habit of doing this.
That is all you need
You put
to know.
that in there for 30 minutes?
Although,
I'm sold.
I know we were talking about it before the show, but what do you guys think happened to Ezra's parents?
Oh, yeah.
I think they're coming back.
You think they're coming back?
I think that they, at some point, will show up just long enough to be actually killed for good. Because you don't drop, I know what happened to your parents, if the follow-up is, they are dead as hell.
Which, how funny would that be?
The very first line. What happened to my parents? Oh, they died about 6 years ago in the spice mines.
And you waited a week to hear that.
Sorry, man.
I think Megan, you might have said this earlier too, but I think one of them might still be alive.
Yeah.
Maybe the mom.
I think one of them is dead for sure, because series like to do that
Yeah,
a
they
lot.
like to do that. Tug at your heartstrings.
Yeah,
I'm
and then the
expecting-
other one's alive and comes back, and then will maybe die after that, maybe be part of the rebellion. I figure they wouldn't stay in the show for very long.
Right. They
but-
can't stay in the show very long.
I'm expecting on-screen parental deaths.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's... I watch too much Game of Thrones. I'm
Yeah.
like, they're gonna die, they're gonna die, they're gonna die.
I would think it would
Everyone's
be,
gonna die.
if you're going to bring one or both of them back, I would think it would be a long burn where you bring them back for an episode, say, we've got missions to do, send them away again, and or have them captured,
Right.
and then don't kill them until later.
Or
Don't kill
have-
them until they cross paths
Yeah.
multiple times.
Or have they could be here, and then we have the ongoing, I want to find my parents. Well, we have this more important thing that needs to be done. Well, what's more important than this? Get your priorities straightened out.
There's
And
only
I
one
see
way to
that
find
happening.
out. And we got to wait till next week. And on that note, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching us on YouTube or listening to us on iTunes. We really appreciate it. Anytime you can, comment, talk to us. We'll try to talk back to you. I love discussing Star Wars. I know these do too. And on that note, hey, ladies, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at TheMenguin. That's TheMenguin. I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I am also on on Sword Art Online, Z Nation, and Arrow later tonight.
All right, and I'm Dillon Chance, and thanks again. You can find me on Twitter at Dillon Chance, and may the Force be with you.
And also
with you. Raised Catholic, raised Catholic.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.